Hello friends, I'm Meteorologist Zack Shields. We're going to be on storm watch later on today as all the ingredients slowly come together for increasing rain and storm chances. The last 2 days, all the storms went around us because we had a pretty strong lid on the atmosphere. We're banking on this front to our north to undercut all the moisture and the summer-like heat to provide enough lift to break through that lid on the atmosphere, that pocket of warm air aloft, to get the storms going around here. And we have plenty of energy building in advance of this cold front. So when those storms get going, there's about a 50% chance of happening. They could turn severe in a hurry. And we have most of the storm ingredients in place. We have the fuel. Just step outside, you can feel the tropical air mass. We'll have the triggering mechanism, the front. We have enough instability building on in and a little bit of wind shear to support severe storms. The big question mark is, will this capped atmosphere go away? What is this lid on the atmosphere? It's a layer of warm air aloft. So this temperature profile to feature some storms needs to go like this. Warm air near the ground, cold air aloft. When that happens, you get plenty of rising motion. The clouds build up into rainmakers. But if you have that layer of warm air aloft, you have enough rising motion near the ground, then it hits that lid, and then that's it. You get clouds, but no thunderstorms. When that front comes through, we're banking on that front to provide enough lift to put some holes in that lid so the storm clouds start to build up. And right now, if the storms do develop, they could enter the hill country by late afternoon, early evening, the I-35 corridor by early to mid-evening, and then our eastern counties a little bit later than that. By 10, 11 o'clock, the storm event is over. And we've seen rounds and rounds of severe weather across the country. Look at all these storm reports since Monday, from the Carolinas to the Midwest, all the way down into Texas and Oklahoma. 592 wind damage reports, or I should say hail reports, 725 wind damage reports, and 89 tornado sightings, all because of this slow-moving upper low that's going to slingshot that front into central Texas. That'll be our first rainmaker. The second rainmaker is kind of hanging back this area of lower pressure. Doesn't look too impressive right now, but it's going to produce most of the rain here in the next 7 days. Let's focus on the severe weather risk happening this evening. You see the shade of orange? Look at the legend. That's a level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk, an enhanced risk. Usually when the Storm Prediction Center issues that, we have a decent chance of seeing at least isolated to spotty severe weather. And we cannot rule out an isolated tornado. Here's why. The HRRR model indicating enough rotation in the atmosphere to support rotating thunderstorms. Now, not all rotating thunderstorms produce tornadoes, but there's always that chance. But we'll have some very powerful updrafts to support large hail and damaging winds. And it looks like the severe weather corridor will stretch from the northern hill country, from Land Passes, San Saba counties, into Llano, Burnett counties, and then eventually around the Austin metro. And then by early evening, see the shade of orange. That'll be the prime spot for hail. And then that will intensify as we get closer to the I-35 corridor by mid-evening. So we're bracing for a moderate risk of quarter to golf ball size hail, and some of those storms may be a little larger than that. And then a low to moderate risk of damaging winds, 50 to 70 miles per hour, very high risk of lightning, and a low risk of isolated tornadoes. Here's a breakdown on the timing of those storms. In the hill country first, that'll be the prime spot between 5 and 7. I-35 corridor between 7 and 9, and then our eastern counties between 9 and 11. So a 5-hour window to see some storms, and then by midnight the storms are out here. Let me show you what the future radar looks like. This is 5:30. There's still not much happening here in the Austin metro. It's going to be a slow process during the day, not much action on the radar. And then storms originate up in North Texas, and they'll drift southbound into the hill country first by dinner time, and then crossing the I-35 corridor. Man, look at that. If the HRRR model is correct, depicting a couple of supercells, those are severe storms that could be dropping large hail, damaging winds, and even some isolated tornadoes. And then the storms start to fade away as they start to pivot into our eastern counties. And then midnight and beyond, no more storms. You can catch up on your sleep. And then cooler, drier times are ahead tomorrow because we'll be behind the front. The storms will be in and out of here. They're going to be quick movers, so the rain's not going to add up to a whole lot. The flash flooding threat will be the highest in East Texas going into sections of Louisiana and the deep south. How much rain out of some of these storms? I think on average about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, but not everybody is going to see the rain this evening. Now, as we go into Sunday, that's going to be a different story. I pointed out that upper low kind of hanging back, and since it's stalling out, yes, we got that front coming on through. That's going to zap the atmosphere, stabilize things, dry us out. But then as that low pivots toward Texas on Sunday, the moisture and the energy will be back in place just in time for that low to turn that moisture into widespread heavier rain and thunderstorms starting Sunday afternoon, going into Sunday evening, and perhaps all the way through Monday. That's when we're going to get the bulk of the rain here in the next 7 days, where we could see 1 to 2 inches of rain. Bring it on. We don't want the severe weather, but we need some rain, especially out in the hill country. Here's the latest on the drought. 26% of Texas in drought mode, the worst of it from the hill country all the way out to El Paso. We did see some improvements thanks to the recent rains, like in Burnett, Llano, San Saba, Mason counties. You went from a moderate drought to just dry conditions. Parts of Travis, Williamson County went from severe drought to moderate drought, but still really bad in Gillespie and Blanco counties. So with the storm threat ramping up this evening and rain chances increasing this weekend, this is a perfect time to download our free Fox Zone Weather app to get the latest weather information anytime. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.